Malik was surprised at all of these carols coming out of him. After he'd recovered, he reflected upon this experience and he said this: "The carols purged and simplified my thoughts, helped me surrender to the healing process while surrendering to the carol's own inner metronome. Carols have the knack of transporting you back to the first moments you ever sang them, which tend to be times of optimism and wonder at the universe. Exactly the outlook needed in such a situation as I was in." So tonight, if you feel broken in body, if you feel broken in spirit, sing the carols. Be transported back to a more innocent time when the healing Christ child can make you whole. Maybe tonight, though, you might find yourself coming in here knowing that there's a scary place awaiting you out there. A problem, a worry, something that is confusing. Carols can speak to you at times like that as well. John McCain was many of us, most of us know, presidential candidate in 2008. If you knew that, you would also know that Senator McCain was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. He described that experience in the Hanoi Hilton as dreadful, as cruel, as a time he wished for death. In an interview with Larry King, he talked of a time when he celebrated Christmas Eve with his fellow prisoners. He was elected the chaplain because of his Episcopalian background, where he learned and memorized a lot of prayers. And that night, Christmas Eve, in prison with his fellow prisoners, he read from the only Bible the Vietnamese had given him, the Christmas story, talked about it a little bit, and then he discovered the men almost spontaneously singing this hymn. Senator McCain described the effect that carol had on those hardened men. I looked around the room, and there were tears in those men's eyes. They weren't tears of anger or fright or sorrow or bitterness or even longing for home. They were tears of joy. That, for the first time in 7 years for some of them, there was a celebration of Christmas together as Americans. Thousands of miles from home, lost, lonely, those men, by that carol, found hope. You might feel thousands of miles from home, lost and lonely too, but let the carol transport you to the source of hope tonight. For carols can do that. Carols can transport you back, they can heal you, and they can give you hope. And friends, that's why we're here. Because don't you understand, we're talking about, as you sing the carols, you're celebrating a light coming into the world that the darkness cannot overcome. You're celebrating a warmth coming into the world that the coldness cannot quench. For now you know the reason for celebrating. God chose to become encased, limited in flesh, to be one of us, so that we could have healing, we could have hope, we could be bonded together. He is Emmanuel, God with us, not so far behind that we just have to call out, nor so far in front of us that we have to strain to see Him. But God is here now. So we have to rejoice. We know now the reason to celebrate. We don't celebrate as the world celebrates because they're going to stop after tomorrow. We can celebrate the year round because our party is just getting warmed up. There will be, as you leave this place, if you believe this gospel, a lightness in your step, a strength in your nerve, and a joy in your heart. Because if truly the carols have done their work, if truly you have let them give you a glimpse of the Christ child who can change your life, then you can't sit down and be quiet anymore. You're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to stand up. And you're going to have to sing for joy.